Today's guest is the team behind Estate Care Martyrs Vineyard, the island's trusted name in organic landscaping and year-round property care.
When it comes to the regular property maintenance stuff, that's mostly lawn care, land care, gardening, and some other projects that differ from property to property.
They're redefining what it means to maintain vineyard homes, blending sustainability with top-tier service and keeping properties beautiful long after the summer crowd leaves. Let's dive into how they built one of the island's most dependable local businesses and the mindset that keeps them growing every season. Welcome back to another episode of MVFounders. I'm here today with Milos Vasilic, and it's a pleasure to meet you, my brother.
My pleasure.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks for making this happen, and thanks for allowing us to do a podcast today with you,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Nice. So, first thing I want to ask you is basically why the vineyard, and how did you get started with what you were doing on the vineyard?
On the island.
Yeah.
So my brother and I, we arrived to the island in 2017. I was here a year before that, and we were on the island. That's basically why we decided to start a business here and not somewhere else. I've only been to the island and New York City, so we didn't have many options, being originally from Europe. And we were fortunate to be on the island because we quickly discovered the opportunities here, not only business opportunities. Originally, we used to work. We came to the island fresh off a university. I have a background in finances, my brother has in agriculture, and it was kind of like a natural progression that led us to starting a property maintenance and landscaping company.
Wow. So, how old are you right now?
32.
That is impressive. And it's like you were able to basically grow such a huge company here. All right. So, can you tell me basically what does the early days look like in doing the property care company?
So the early days are early 2020, which is the COVID year.
Yeah.
COVID first appeared and everything was restricted. So it was not an easy way to start. When we, I think January was when we opened Estate Care, and quickly after we were working on preparations for our first season, being the spring of 2020.
Right.
And that's exactly when everything got closed due to COVID.
Wow.
So it was not easy, but we kind of took our time, did our research, did our homework, and then as soon as we were able to start with doing jobs, we started, and then it was gradual progression to 2025 right now.
Wow. So it's like COVID basically birthed your business.
You could say that in a sense that we learned how to be patient, to take our time to plan, but it was years in the works before COVID. We didn't start business because of COVID.
Right.
We were preparing to start it since 2018, and then I believe towards the end of 2019 is where we decided, okay, we're getting the equipment, we're getting everything. That's when we actually bought all the stuff, set up shop and everything. And after that, we find out there's this COVID virus, which is coming to the US, and a few months later, everything's closed down. So,
Wow.
So that's basically how it happened.
So you bought all the equipment and stuff, but was there a moment when you basically said that, okay, this is a real business and I need to take it seriously?
There was not an exact moment when we came to that conclusion. The plan was from the beginning to have a business that's going to be considerable, that's going to be the main thing that we do here.
Right.
And we, like I said, we took our time to plan. We already had background. One of my first jobs on the island was landscaping, so I had experienced landscaping, and my brother Nicola, he had experience in tree care. So we already had several years in the business, sort of prior to that. So it was planning, and we knew from the start, with the right work ethic, persistence, determination, everything else, that it's going to succeed, in a sense that's going to be the main thing that we do.
Wow. So you did all your landscaping stuff like here on the vineyard first, right?
Yes, I had experience landscaping. I worked for another company since, I believe, 2017. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And my brother worked in a tree care company, and he progressed through the ranks over there. And towards the end of 2019, we sort of decided we decided earlier. It was just a matter of time when we're gonna start.
Right.
Eventually, we officially started in January 2020. So.
That is absolutely crazy. So it's like, do you see like a difference doing property care business here and doing it on the mainland versus here on the vineyard?
I would assume that there are differences. Well, certainly when it comes to the materials and some particular jobs where you don't have access to materials and some other things on island, so you need to get it from off island.
Right.
I imagine it's much easier to do that off island. It would be easier with the scheduling. Jobs would go faster, everything else. So I guess there are a few, I'm not going to call them restrictions, but things on the island that make this business kind of a little bit different to what would we be doing off island.
Wow. So it's like, that's actually not bad, because I would figure that most people would find it more challenging here to do business, especially because you have to get like all your materials and stuff. So you think it's more challenging or less challenging?
It's a good question. I mean, it's only particular jobs, for example, stone jobs, when somebody wants to build a wall or something else with a certain type of stone, and there's no quarry on the island. There's only a limited selection here. So oftentimes you have to get it off island, fence, whatever other stuff, but not something that we do day in and day out. But it is same for us as for everybody else that works on the island. So
Right.
I wouldn't say that's a huge challenge, because everybody goes through that, and it's not the main thing that we do day in and day out, week in and week out. It just depends on the project. When it comes to the regular property maintenance stuff, that's mostly lawn care, land care, gardening, and some other projects that differ from property to property. So there's it's same for us as for everybody else.
Well, what do you think the core service of your business is? Like the thing that, okay, a person would definitely call you for 100%.
So that's a good question. So I would say, broadly speaking, property maintenance, which would be including lawn care, other exterior maintenance on the property, gardens, privets, some landscape rearrangements on the property. That would be like the base of the business. And but we also, it really depends from customer to customer, because not everybody does a quote-unquote full package where we do everything year round, from winter caretaking to lawn to stone projects. It really depends, but I would say, broadly speaking, this lawn, garden / land maintenance is the base.
What is most popular, your most popular service?
I would say if we were to I guess itemize the accounts by what we do on the properties,
Yeah.
probably lawn care.
Lawn care?
Which, because we do it on the vast majority of the properties. On some properties, they do not have lawn, so we don't do it here.
Right.
But for everybody, we do lawn.
Yeah.
We do other forms of maintenance, which differs from property to property. But lawn is kind of, everybody needs their grass cut.
So far, well, that's actually not bad. But here in the vineyard is more like it's very seasonal, right? So it's like, how do you handle the seasonality challenges? Like, say for instance, the difference between summer and winter. What does that look like for you?
So for us, the season starts early spring.
Yeah.
So it would start in March, and the peak season is really mid to late spring, let's say May and June, right before 4th of July, because most of the clients are not year-round islanders. It's either, obviously we have all kinds of clients, but I would say the vast majority of them, or the majority of them, are either people who live off island, who have summer homes here, or summer rentals, and they want basically everything done on their property and ready for 4th of July, before 4th of July. So that's where we have that spring rush, which is the busiest time of the season.
Right.
And then let's say from July to August, we have everybody here on the island. They want to enjoy the vacation, enjoy their time here. So they do not want any heavy-duty works in their yard, on their property at that time. And then when they start leaving in September, we have a fall push, which lasts. Right now we have fall cleanups, the leaf cleanups, because the leaves started falling since October. Really.
That's like a big service here, like leaf cleanups.
So it's a long season. So it's when we end it, pretty much we are done with the cleanups at some point in January, and by that time we do caretaking for some of the properties that are clients.
Right.
We do weekly, bi-weekly house checks. We do, if there is a storm, obviously, if there's some trees that need attention, if there's a hazardous tree caused by a storm or whatever it may be, that can happen, snow to be plowed in winter, we do all of that. But obviously winter is much slower than fall, summer or spring, but we work year round.
So the season doesn't really affect you?
Well, it affects the way we do business, of course.
What about like cash flow wise? So say for instance, like, all right, for my business, summer we would be making our most cash flow, but like the winter just looks really dead for us majority of the times. So from a landscaping perspective or a property care perspective, how does that look for you?
I would say winter would be naturally the slowest.
Yeah.
And spring and summer and fall is really up to us how we manage the schedule. They are pretty much equal to one another, spring, summer and fall.
Wow, really?
Yeah, especially spring and summer. Fall is also it's strong until we stop lawn mowing.
Yeah.
We usually have several crews. One crew is a mowing crew.
Yeah.
And we stop that in let's say sometime in October. The mow season slowly ends. By November we have final cuts here and there, and that's pretty much it. We withdraw one crew and we proceed with the fall cleanup. Right now we have two teams.
Yeah.
So in winter we should be down to only one crew that handles pretty much everything, because winter is really the slowest. But everything else, it's the season. It's the season.
So what really happens to those guys? Like your second crew, what happens to them? Are they just out of a job?
So we have seasonal people who in winter they go to Colorado or Florida. Most
Oh wow,
of them to
that's
Colorado.
cool. You
So,
set that up. Yeah.
So that's people that we've known for years,
Yeah.
which is good for us that we do not have to rotate huge amount of people every year.
Right.
We have some guys that are with us year round. We have some guys that are with us only in summer. Some people stay till October, some November, early December. So we kind of manage, and everybody comes and goes and operate that way.
Well, that's actually pretty cool. But just take me back a little bit when you really just started. Was it like difficult to like set up your company, like to be completely legal, to be a company in terms of have all your taxes stuff in order, like have your DBA or like a LLC, all that stuff? Like, was that challenging for you? And are you like a part of the Chamber of Commerce here?
Yeah.
Like, so walk me through what you had to go through in order to get all that stuff done.
So Chamber of Commerce, I believe we originally joined in the first year, 2020.
Yeah, how did you join? You just went to them and just joined?
So a friend of ours who also owns a company, he told us about it and
Yeah.
told us that we should join. Then we did a little research to see what the Chamber of Commerce is, how they operate. We got in contact with them and we were more than happy to join.
What's
Chamber
their
of Commerce.
joining process though? Like, what do you do to just
I
join?
believe you just apply on their website. I
Yeah.
can't remember if it was me or my brother who handled that application, but you can
Yeah.
apply on their website and then shortly afterwards they approve you. You answer some questions about
Yeah.
the company. Or it was a long time ago, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I remember process being pretty simple.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, like, now you're part of the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
How did it benefit you and your business just growing?
So at start, we just joined the chamber, and we were getting monthly emails, updates about their events, cocktail events, after hours, and everything else.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, we didn't really attend any of them. So
Really?
yeah, we were, just we would see, oh, we got an email and so on, but we wouldn't do much with it.
Yeah.
And as we grew as a company, we started utilizing on the chamber as well, because they have access to sizable potential client base.
Wow.
So eventually, I believe that we became premium or gold members in the chamber, or
Yeah.
I would have to.
How much does it cost to be a part of them though? Like, it's like a membership.
Yes, so there's a fee that you pay every year. I have no idea how
Yeah.
much it costs.
But it's been beneficial to you think?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah. Especially those events, you get to like network with like other people.
Yes, you
business
get
business
to
owners.
meet other business-oriented people, and then
Right.
it comes down to your own communication with people. Then you can utilize on that, according to your own ability.
Of course, like if you're going to anywhere that has like a large size of people that all own businesses, you have to make something of that. Like that's probably easy to. So have they helped you? You feel like just being a part of the Chamber of Commerce like increase your cash flow in your company, just with connections, links, or anything like that?
I would say, like, everything that we did
Yeah.
helped a little bit. So a Chamber of Commerce is a piece of that.
Yeah.
We had other forms of advertisement which also helped. So we were.
They offer advertising too for you guys?
So from what I know, they do in a form of that you can put your logo and on the website and some information about yourself, and then I believe they do annual or monthly posts on their page, and they sometimes include you depending on your membership.
Wow.
I would really have to go back and do my due diligence and see how exactly the chamber operates. But we are pretty happy with the Chamber of Commerce.
I actually like
we're
that.
proud to be
Member.
chamber members.
No, that's pretty cool. So that's pretty nice. So what about like you just setting up your whole company overall? Like, say for instance, somebody's watching right now that they're aspiring to do the same. You know, like how because you did it before. So how could you walk somebody through in like setting up a company the right way? You know.
So it depends on their preferences, of course. What would you like to do? You have to decide for yourself. Everybody has a different background, different wishes of what would they like to do in life, in business. So first they make their own decision and then do their homework, do a little bit of research on the basics of the business, on the particulars. For example, we had to take in account that we are doing business on the island, and do a little research of how to approach if it's a client base, in our case, if it's a customer base that you need to reach to. Just do your homework, be persistent. Do not rush. Nothing can happen immediately when it comes to success. So take your time, be determined, and the results are going to come eventually.
So basically, tell me about just the more specifics of saying, I have an idea now, I did all my research, what am I doing in order to like not just have like a little side hustle, but like be considered a real business?
So I believe, what I can say from my experience is that I had plans from the beginning, but I could not create a full-time, busy operation from day one.
Right.
It was maybe in some case it is possible depending on what you're doing.
Yep.
In my case, it was not really possible, so I did start not as a side business, but I set up my schedule accordingly. At the beginning, we were working 2 days a week. When we started, only 2 days a week. Then we quickly expanded to 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, and then that became my only job within a year or two.
So, wow, that's actually cool. And it's like you basically...
But I was doing something else simultaneously at the beginning. I did not quit everything and then just
No, that's a smart approach. Usually people just like quit their jobs and be like, I'm gonna start a business right now, and like
no,
it's like they still have bills and expenses and
exactly. We had like 2-3 clients at the very beginning, and obviously I still had to work my job, and my brother did as well. So we had to readjust the schedule as we grew as a company. So when we started working 3 or 4 days with the company, then we kind of started doing part-time with what used to be a regular job, and then we kind of lowered that down, and as the business was expanding, and then we started getting more people in, more workers, people that we do business with, and that slowly removed other job, and we were left with the property maintenance as the only thing that we do. Wow.
So what about like, all right, evolving as like most businesses do well with leverage, right? And it's like, say for instance, when you started realizing that, I need help and I need leverage, what was it like growing like a team of people to do stuff for you that, okay, I can't be everywhere at once,
For me, good thing was that I have a brother and we started business together, so we're both owners of the company.
Really?
So that immediately gave us a little bit of an advantage compared to if either one of us started business on their own.
Yeah.
So we already had 2 people that are able to go anywhere around the island, make sure that everything's done properly, make sure that all the clients are happy, make sure that everything runs smoothly, and eventually both of us started having their own crew, which specializes on different things when it comes to property care, which eventually allowed us to bring more people in who we trust, who are as good as we are in what we do, and started expanding the business. And
what was that recruiting process like, though? How did you find people?
It was not easy. I mean, I suppose it's never easy with a limited pool of people that exist on the island. So we kind of, it's people that we knew, that we knew from before, that are today our friends.
Yeah.
So they grew with us in the company, and eventually they became management together with us, and they became as capable as we are in training new people, getting new people, and we kind of...
yeah, but how did they really find, like, how, say for instance, you and your brother right now, right? How are you finding the third guy, the fourth guy? How did you, like, are you putting out an ad, or are you just messaging them specifically, or like, you know?
So the third and the fourth guy, you mean like the third guy in the company? And
yeah, like how are you finding them, and how did you?
Those are the guys that we knew that started working in the company as you know, regularly.
Yeah.
Not as a part of management or anything, and they progressed through the company. As the company grew, they grew with us. They became more knowledgeable. They also we showed them some of the courses that we attended to.
So like to get them on board, how did you, like, because say for instance you do have to pay them, and you do have to like basically match what their next job was giving them, or probably better.
Yeah.
So how are you convincing them, hey bro, leave this job and come do my job?
Well, I think that we always offered at the very least competitive pay, especially for people that are knowledgeable. In my opinion, if a person is worth for your business, they bring value, then you should give them their value.
So yeah, but what I'm saying is, how did you like talk to them specifically, or you message them, call them on the phone? Like, how did you get to them and tell them that, hey?
In our specific situation, they found us. So they were looking for
That's what I'm asking,
jobs.
yeah.
One of the guys we did not know from before.
Yes.
One of them we did know from before.
Correct.
And at some point, I believe it was winter time when there's not much work, so a person is looking for a job. They got in touch with us as we were looking for workforce, and they started working with us. They had prior experience. We saw that they were very responsible, willing to learn, and then getting paid is not a problem if you are dedicated to the job from our perspective. So we make sure that everybody that works with us is happy when it comes to money, of course.
Well, so all right, that is actually pretty cool. So when it comes on to like just making your thing their main thing, right? Yeah. How are you able to like give them all the hours and still maintain your cash flow from just your clients and stuff like that? Like, have you ever had any complications in terms of saying, okay, our clients slowed down, so I can't really pay all these guys anymore?
Well, we did not have like complications because we are very transparent with everybody that works with us. We can only offer work to a certain amount of people in winter because winter is not very busy, right?
Correct.
So everybody that comes to our company, if they're coming just to do a season, then there's no issues, right? They're going to go their way. But if they're looking for a full-time job and they plan on staying on the island year-round, we sit down and we talk to them and we tell them, hey, you know, the season slows down in January, it's very slow in February, and it kind of kicks off in March slowly. Just so you know. Do you have any other job for winter? Most people do, so it's not an issue. Most people, or I would say everybody, actually already has that knowledge, that sense of the winter season being slow, because nobody is really new and they don't know anything, so we have to explain it. But we do have talk with everybody when it comes to winter. You know, to see what their goal is and to let them know how much of work we can offer them at a particular time. So I don't think that we ever had a misunderstanding.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So like you mentioned your brother, and I know that oftentimes when two people have like a company, one person is good at something and the next person is just good at something else.
Yeah.
What are the things that you're good at, and what are the things that he's good at to make the company one whole?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's true, actually.
Right.
So, like I said, his background is agriculture. My background is finances.
Yeah.
I graduated finances, so I'm in charge of the numbers, the scheduling, the let's say money.
Yeah.
Let's say that. And he is in charge, well, mostly in charge of handling the clients and doing, you know, communicating with the new clients and the new customers,
Right.
and handling that side of the business. So we kind of delegated it that way. He's very, he has a high expertise in the field in both tree care and landscaping. We
Nice.
both went through NOFA, which is Northeastern Organic Farming Association.
That's like a course, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's I believe. So that's one of the chief bodies when it comes to determining the ways to do land care organically.
Right.
So we both have that knowledge, and you know, I also do day-to-day work as well as he does,
Yeah.
as well as everybody else in the company, depending on the day, depending on the job. But I have a slight focus on the finances and scheduling, and he has communication with the customers more. But it's intermixing. He also does some scheduling, some finances, and I also do some communication with some clients. So it really, you know, we don't want any single person to be stuck with too much. You know? So we kind of delegate jobs between the two of us.
So that's pretty cool. But all right, so now one experience I have with like growing a company, especially when I started growing, as soon as my company got bigger, I literally saw that my quality dropped, right? So like I couldn't be as consistent, and if I wanted to be, I would have to get somebody who's just equally competent as me, right? So one question I have for you in terms of that, so now you're managing multiple properties, multiple accounts. Like, say you started from the beginning and you could have give your best, your all into one job, right? How do you maintain quality in regards to like now you're growing so much and now you have multiple accounts, multiple property? How do you maintain quality to keep it consistent across to make sure all your customers are experiencing the same things?
So we have over 150 accounts.
That's crazy.
So yeah,
150 accounts.
we did have considerable expansion in the last 2.5 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is a good point. So preserving or increasing quality when quantity also increases.
Yes.
So I would say that people that are that are crew leaders, people that are in management.
Right.
We are fortunate that they are good people. They are as knowledgeable as us. They are as hardworking as us, and they are not some random people. They are also our
Correct.
friends who's that were with us for a considerable amount of time.
Yeah.
And there's trust there. We also double check every property, every customer. We have oversight over all of
You would
the
have somebody
operations.
else to do your double checking? Because I'm pretty sure you can't just go double check everything yourself.
I mean, we can between the two
Yeah.
of us still. We also have two more guys who are as capable as we are, and
Yeah.
and they are also, they help us a lot. So
Wow.
so
Wow.
I suppose finding competent workforce is the most important thing when it comes to preserving quality or increasing quality. We always strive to increase the quality, not preserve, never drop. So yeah.
Wow. That's pretty nice. So before here, I was doing some research on you, and it was saying like you like doing eco-friendly work.
Yeah.
Like, why is that important to you?
So eco-friendly work, that goes back to NOFA, which I mentioned,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Northeastern Organic Farming Association. That's where we learned a lot about organic land care.
Yeah.
And we try to do our little contribution to the community there. It is a healthier, and it for the property, for land, for the environment, and it also, once done properly, makes the land more persistent to outside factors, as compared to if everything was done conventionally by chemicals and other things. So we try to discourage that, to go healthier, and eventually it also sees financial benefit to the customers also, because once you have a healthy lawn, healthy land, you don't need to put as many chemicals. You don't have to spend as much money maintaining that.
Oh wow, man, that's pretty cool. I actually like the way how you do things, right? So, how do you think that this, like, do your customers value that you do that specifically, or how does that help you business-wise?
Yeah, I think that they do. I'm pretty sure, because we had many cases where people used to have fully conventionally maintained properties. They do chemicals, they overdo chemicals on their property, and then once that flow stops, their lawn or their property disintegrates.
Really?
Yes, so
Wow.
so we took our time. We studied eco-friendly lawn care.
Yeah.
We take our time to explain to the clients of how it works, what are the benefits,
Wow.
and we once we proceed with that, they see the results, and they are very happy and very grateful that we managed to convince them to go that way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow, that's pretty cool. So, as from a client perspective, if they want to go eco, is that less or more expensive for them?
I would say ultimately it's going to be less expensive.
Less expensive?
Less expensive,
Wow.
because
Most people who think about eco stuff and they're like, nah, man, that sounds like it costs too much, bro. Like, just give me the normal thing. You know?
yes, well,
Yeah.
a lot of people are used to put certain amount of chemicals in their yard each year to preserve how it looks.
Yeah.
And it does initially cost. You do have a. It is costly initially to transfer the property to organic maintenance, because you have to go away from the chemicals, and you have to put a lot of work to make your soil, your lawn, your plants and everything else, your land more persistent and more resistant to the outside factors, which resistance is very low without those chemicals. It's like being on steroids, on life support, pretty
Really?
much. It's like taking your property off life support
Yeah.
and putting some nature in it so it can survive on its own. That's
Wow.
basically pretty much. So initially it's costly, but a year or two after that, you can see the results and you can see, oh, I don't need to put my fertilizer 6 times a year
Yeah.
this year because the lawn looks great.
Wow. So what's basically, right, so in regards to all of that, like, what's the hardest thing, especially running this kind of business on island? What is the hardest things you have to deal with just running this business?
The hardest thing, the most difficult thing about the business is
Yeah.
probably qualified workforce. Maybe I would go with that.
Yeah.
Because we already mentioned that there's only so many people that are
Available.
as workforce for
Correct.
landscaping, for land care on the
Would you import your own workforce?
What do you mean import?
Like, would you like, say for instance, you know some guy, he's good, he's in Alabama, he's in North Carolina, some other state. Would you
I would
say,
give him a call.
yeah.
If he's good, I'll give him a call.
And but how would you basically offer him security over here, saying, hey man, like, I know you're good at what you do, I can make you come over here and I can give you housing, give you like that stuff. Does that stuff, is that a challenge for you, or can you actively help someone do that?
Well, that depends on I would have to take in account his specific situation that he has
Right.
in Alabama, and I would see what I can offer him to match or exceed that, and if I am able to do that, then I would go for it. If I'm not able to do that, obviously I cannot give him a call and say, hey, leave whatever you're doing, come here to help me.
Yeah.
I can't do that, but if I can, that's I suppose case by case scenario. If I can, I'm giving him a call.
So a lot of the challenges that business owners here face, especially here in the Vineyard, right? Like, they would not have housing for their employees.
Yeah,
Like, is that like a challenge for you as well?
That is a challenge because even people who come here seasonally,
Yeah.
it's very tough for them to find housing. We do our best to help. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes, well, it really depends on how long they're staying or what their own situation is.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's much easier to find housing in winter than it is at the beginning of summer.
Yeah.
But we try to help. We try to help with that, and
Do you offer housing, or you just help them find?
I would say we just help find housing. We have a few contacts for
Yeah.
housing who are friends of ours, so we are in touch with them. They help us get housing for our people.
Right.
So that's great. So we help that way.
Wow. So, okay, on the business side now, right? What are the things that basically like are costing you the most, especially in your company? Like, what are the most expensive part of running your business?
The most expensive part,
Yeah.
salaries,
Yeah.
machines, equipment, I would say, and materials, of course.
Materials.
When we're doing a large project that involves X amount of dollars for the materials, stone projects, stone wall, stone patio, then materials. So,
Yeah.
but I would say if we went through the finances, it's probably salaries.
So, like, most businesses, especially,
just like any other business, I guess.
all right, so when you were like starting out, like, a lot of people, they would feel uncomfortable charging like a crazy invoice, right? Like, say for instance, you said, hey man, you know for a fact that the materials alone is going to cost you like 5-10 grand, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know that in order to be profitable on this job, you have to at least charge this customer $30,000 or something like that, right? Is that ever a challenge? And I'm not saying like, okay, that's the figures. This is just an example, right?
Yeah.
Like, so have you ever had a problem or find it challenging writing like a crazy quote for someone, writing like maybe a big invoice for them to pay and worried, are they going to even be able to pay this? Are they going to even pay it?
So, from my perspective, the key thing is to be transparent with the people, with customers. So
Right.
they need to know, they need to have estimate in advance when it comes to those big projects,
Right.
because we do not want them to be surprised. Obviously, that's not good for us, not good for them.
Correct.
We want
Correct.
everything to be good for us and good for them. So we make sure to go through every aspect of the job. Let's say it's a large stone project. We did a project last year, I believe. We were building a stone patio, stone outside shower, and a retaining wall.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of stone, and we went through the whole process with the client to tell them how much the material is going to cost, how much approximately the labor is going to cost, how much time we're going to require to get everything done.
Yep.
I believe we were supposed to get it done before a certain holiday. So we made sure that the customers knows everything. We would not take a job, especially a big job, without customer knowing anything about it, and then they get $50,000 bill. They have no idea about that. That can't happen. So we make sure that they know everything in advance for sure.
So, I'm not sure if you have any mentors or how comfortable you are with mentorship and stuff like that, but just going towards that, what's probably the biggest advice that, like, or most important advice that you've received that, like, played a big part in your success so far?
But advice, I would say, to be persistent and to believe in yourself. Once we have decided that this is what we're gonna do, we did our homework, we know how to do it, so the rest is on us. If whatever happens, for example, if COVID happens, we cannot quit. So we just believe in ourselves, believe that the results are going to come, and just be persistent and keep on going, because we know that we work hard, we're dedicated, so the results must come. That's at least my mentality, and that's what I was told by other people as well. So.
Like people you look up to.
Oh yeah, in a sense. I mean, we received a lot of advice from multiple people who have businesses here on the island way before we ever arrived to the island. So they've been here, they've been doing business for a long time, and of course, good advice is always welcome. We learn, even today we are learning. I believe you never stop learning, so you're always open to an advice, of course.
So for instance, now on the same topic of advice, somebody who's like watching this right now, right? What advice you feel like you could give them that would contribute to their success? Like, what if you should give somebody advice? What advice you think you could give them?
I would pass on the same advice pretty much. So, self-belief, you have to believe in yourself. Once you have made that decision, well, first do your homework, decide what you want to do. Once you start, you be focused on yourself, and do not rush. You have to have it in your mindset that success or whatever desired result is, it's not going to come immediately. And move on, believe in yourself, and be persistent, and the results are going to come.
Wow, that is absolutely cool. So say for instance now, that's good advice, by the way, but sometimes like some people want more than just like believe in yourself, like.
Well, sometimes objectively you get lucky in some instances for something that happens.
Well, that is very true, because I would always hear that like people always tell me, believe in yourself, but what does believing in yourself like really look like to you? Like, what does that actually look like to you when you say believe in yourself?
So, what does it look like? Well, it is just, I guess, constant reminder in your mind for yourself that you're doing the right thing and that your result is coming. If the result has arrived, the result that you strived for, I don't know, 2 years ago,
Right.
and you have the next goal, you always have it in the back of your mind that it's coming. You do your due diligence, you do your work, and it's going to come. You just need to be focused on what you're doing. You cannot get discouraged for whatever reason. You cannot start slacking. That's not an option. So you just make sure that you do everything as planned, everything the right way, and have in the back of your mind that the result is gonna come. Maybe it doesn't come the same year that you projected. Maybe it's a year later. Maybe it's a year earlier. Who knows? But always have that. That's what I call self-belief.
Right. Well, that's pretty cool. All right, so in 5 years, where do you see Estate MV right now? Estate Care MV. Where do you see you guys in 5 years?
That's a good question. I don't like to give like predictions. We're gonna be there or there. I suppose we're going to. Well, my expectation and the goal is that we continue expanding on island. We also have some operations off island, out of state.
Yeah.
So I imagine we will be expanding on that also in the coming years. So I wouldn't say much besides that, but I anticipate continuous growth.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. And I have this is the final question I actually have for you. And this question was left by Paul Beeson and his wife from Dairy Queen, right?
Yeah.
So the question they asked here is, running a business on the Vineyard forces you to balance crazy summers and demand quiet winters. What's one thing you've learned about staying consistent, and how do you plan on staying consistent as a business person in the future?
I would say organization. We already know that winter is slower than summer.
Right.
So, and this island is a seasonal place, so we take that into consideration.
Correct.
And we decide if we want to take some time off in winter, or we're going to look for other ways to continue work, to continue whatever we wish business-wise.
Right.
So for me personally, I like to be busy at all times, or kind of busy. So I am not going to be as busy in winter as I am in summer, but I will still look for ways. Like I already mentioned, we have some off-island operations working on that, developing at the moment. So yes, I mean, eventually you need to find a balance, like Paul says, and I know Paul. I used to work with him in the past, long time ago. He's a great person. I respect him, and so yeah. I mean, for me, it's winter is going to be a little bit slower.
Correct.
But I will still find a way to do some business in winter also.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
All right, so one thing we normally do, just like Paul left you a question, you feel like you could leave a question for the next person? What do you think you would want to ask the next person?
So I thought about this a bit. I would ask them, which event caused you the most happiness during the work that you do in your business? I would ask that. That's an interesting question.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. All right, so we'll have it for the next person and definitely see the answer that they get. But Milos, thank you very much my brother.
Pleasure. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
sir.
Thank
Hopefully I can get to meet your brother soon
you.
because
For sure. I can. He will be happy to come on at some point. For
nah,
sure.
trust me, man. You guys basically open my eyes when it comes on to just doing business here, and
Thank you.
I love to see you guys grow, and I just wish you the best, especially like going forward. You know.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yeah.
I wish you the best. My brother and I were actually discussing who should come on.
Yeah,
Decision ultimately came that it is me.
Yeah.
So maybe next time it's gonna be him.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Let's make it happen.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you a lot, my
very much.
brother.